This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today we have a 3 for Friday as we look at this collection from Kino, Sci-Fi Chillers. I'll give you my thoughts on each of the 3 films, including info about the extras and where you can see each film. Plus, we'll consider, are these really sci-fi? Are they really chillers? Is there truth in advertising here? Let's check it out. Going chronologically, let's start with The Unknown Terror from 1957, a brisk 76 minutes long in beautiful black and white. This is about a woman who leads an expedition into a remote jungle to find her missing brother, but instead finds a mad scientist who has created this new kind of fungus that ends up turning men into monsters. About 45 minutes into this film, I started thinking, how is this science fiction? I mean, the doctor, who's the most interesting character, but only in about 3 or 4 scenes, has created this fungus. But why did he create it? What does he plan to do with it? And all we know is that he experimented on some humans who were kind of hiding in this cave. Now, the woman and her expedition are warned by the natives of this jungle several times. Don't go into the jungle. In fact, leave this place as fast as you can. But of course, they don't listen. They go into the jungle, and not only do they go in, but they go at night during a storm. So it's one of those films. The scenes in the cave are the highlights of this film. As far as these deformed men who were infected by this fungus, we see them only briefly, and it's very dark. We never get to see real details, just sort of like their silhouettes, basically, and they're growling. The cast and crew in this film, I don't think anybody would recognize. I didn't recognize them. A lot of TV credits. My rating for The Unknown Terror, I'm going to give this one 2.5 mushrooms, because fungus, of course. It's a very low budget film, but it's entertaining enough. By the way, the picture quality on that film and on all 3 films in the set is quite good. No complaints there whatsoever. The second film in this set is The Colossus of New York from 1958, a brisk 70 minutes long in beautiful black and white as well. This is about a brilliant scientist who was accidentally killed in the early part of the film, but then his preserved brain is transferred to the body of a giant robot so that it can continue to serve mankind. So he becomes a cyborg. It was directed by Eugene Lurie, who actually did several films of this type during that time frame, like The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms and Gorgo, which I did do an episode on Gorgo if you want to check that one out. The cast includes Ross Martin, who was in a Twilight Zone episode and an Outer Limits episode, and was so good in Experiment in Terror, the film. But I remember him mostly from the Wild Wild West TV series way back in the day. Otto Kruger also shows up here, and he was in several quite good films. Saboteur, the Hitchcock film, and High Noon, and Murder My Sweet. This is a Cold War 1950s science fiction film. It could have used a bigger budget. There are a few distracting stock footage shots that the picture quality of those is so much worse than the rest of the film. It's kind of jarring, kind of takes you out of the film a little bit, but be that as it may, I would say this is a cross between Frankenstein and The Day the Earth Stood Still, both superior films, of course. The Day the Earth Stood Still, much more optimistic than this one is. The Mr. Giant creature, that's what one of the little boys calls him, Mr. Giant. He shows up about 20 minutes in, pretty impressive. The outfit that the actor had to wear weighed 160 pounds and made him 8 feet tall, so it must not have been a very pleasant experience wearing that. How he gets around New York City is pretty ridiculous. I don't want to give too much away, but you kind of roll your eyes at that one. One funny aspect of this is the brother and the dead scientist's brother and his best friend immediately hit on his widow. So they didn't wait at all. It's like, come on, guys, wait whatever the required amount of time is, 6 months, a year, longer. But this guy's body isn't even cold yet, and already his brother and his best friend are hitting on his wife. I thought that was kind of funny. So my rating for The Colossus of New York, I'm going to give this one 4 robots out of 5. Easily the best film in the set, and it holds up pretty well and looks really good. The final film in this set is Destination Inner Space from 1966, 83 minutes long. This one's actually in color, and it's about a group of scientists working in a deep sea research station when they discover a strange craft of extraterrestrial origin. This is one of those science fiction films from this era that's just as concerned with inner space as it is with outer space. The craft that they find underneath the water looks just like a flying saucer, but none of the scientists even mention that. They're wondering what it is. The creature itself that comes out of the craft is like a fish man, which means that the planet it came from has water on it, but the scientists don't mention that either. But the creature is a man in a rubber suit standing upright. Looks pretty good. He's got scales, and you can see him here actually. Where is he? There he is right there. Looks okay. He's got scales, and he has multicolored fins. And the message at the end of the film is, we need to communicate with aliens on a higher level. This has a bigger budget, I think, than the first 2 films. It has some underwater sequences that look really good. It even begins with a helicopter shot as we approach the ocean and see where the underwater sea lab is, which is a miniature. It's fairly derivative. It reminded me mostly of a film I loved when I was growing up called It, The Terror from Beyond Space, which apparently was a influence on Alien. And it also reminded me of course, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And he does pop up unexpectedly in some scenes in the film, kind of surprises you. So that's pretty good for a 1966 film of this type. The music is kind of odd. It ranges from very generic, kind of bland movie music to outer space sound effects on the soundtrack. Scott Brady is the star here. You probably recognize him, and he's been in many films, including Johnny Guitar and Gremlins. And so my rating for Destination Inner Space, I'll give this one 3 fish, because he is kind of a fish man, and it's an entertaining film, even if it's kind of flat looking. Don't expect some really interesting lighting or anything. You're not going to get that here. So going back to our original question, is this truth in advertising? Are these 3 films sci-fi chillers? Well, I would say the second and third films definitely come under the category of science fiction. But chillers, well, that's a tough one. I mean, how many films could you categorize as chillers? I really don't know. Kind of an amorphous term there. So what's on this disc? This is actually, it's from Kino, like I said. It's actually 2 discs, and you get a slipcover, as you can see here. And you're not going to get any artwork on the inside or anything. You do get the original posters, little thumbnails there. But that's about it. As far as the extras go, there are audio commentaries for all 3 films, which I did not listen to. And there are things called the sidebars, which at first I thought, oh, that just must mean more commentaries. But no, it's actually not. It's like discussions between 2 experts about 2 of the films. The picture quality on those conversations is not very good. They look like Zoom calls to me, actually. And but there's a 35-minute one about Destination Inner Space, and then a 1-hour one on The Colossus of New York. Now, just a little side note for that sidebar, if you've been following my channel and you know about the hassles I've been having with certain Blu-ray players, that second sidebar conversation froze on my Panasonic 820 at about the 17-minute mark, and I cleaned the disc, put it back in, froze in the same spot. This morning I tried the same disc in my old cheaper Sony machine, played no problem. So, but that's a whole other topic. You can check those episodes out if you want to see what's going on there. So, where can you see these films? Well, Destination Inner Space, you can see that on YouTube for free. You can see it on Amazon Prime. Of course, you can always rent or buy. The Unknown Terror is on YouTube for free. And The Colossus of New York, which is the best of the three, unfortunately, I don't see it listed on YouTube for free. So if you want to rent this, you can. If you want to buy this collection, I think I paid about $25 during a Kino sale. And you don't get a whole lot for that. I do like the sidebar conversations, but there's no booklet, there's no inside artwork or anything like that. If you're a fan of these types of 50s and 60s sci-fi films, it's probably worth it for you. So feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Subscribing is free. Also free is we're on the Letterboxd app under the Kazdoy Closet. There's a link in the notes down below if you want to check that out. Most recently, we posted brief reviews of Sisu, The Dead Thing, and Pale Flower. So check that out. That's free. What's not free is my ebook is available. It is True Tales from the Teacher Trenches, the ups and downs from 32 years of teaching. And you can get that through Amazon.com. And it's for your Kindle. If you don't have a Kindle, you can use the free Kindle app on the device of your choice. And it's going to set you back $1.99. So check that out if you like. Otherwise, hope you like this episode. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.